Turtle, isn't it so much more fun when there's still major spots on the line this late into the final regional event of a split?
Oh, absolutely. This is the best. We get to see more and more teams either secure a spot or unfortunately get their hopes and dreams crushed, James Bott. And that is unfortunately going to be the case for one of these teams, but the other will get to move on and potentially secure a spot in Rotterdam.
And we had an interesting interview with the coach of EG, Verge, yesterday after their win against Williams Resolve. He said Liquid is a very interesting team. He says when they're not popping off individually, they're very easy to handle. We have a game plan that works against them, but when they're peaking, they're almost impossible to beat. And we saw that from Liquid yesterday. We saw the double tap from from Atau in the corner. And then we also saw that Oski hat trick in one of the games. So this Team Liquid squad, they seem to be firing on all cylinders lately, but this is the series when it matters.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, you've been able to perform so far, but this is a young team. Team Liquid, they are young, rising stars, and that means they might not be able to handle the nerves as effectively. We'll see if that's not the situation for EG. They've got Verge to calm them down, remind them, you know, what's at stake, but also to play their game. Oski! This is that individual performance, the solo plays that can make or break Team Liquid.
And you see Oski beating Ivan out to that touch, getting it to the backboard. Ivan opting to play the ball there. If he plays the bump, maybe could have taken Oski out, but Oski just too fast.
Oof. That's a difficult sign right away, James. You know, you're talking about how Verge was speaking on whether or not Team Liquid would show up, and I think the first goal might be an indicator that they're here to perform, and their mechanics are sure on point.
It might be. And if you remember yesterday, Turtle, the Williams Resolve EG series, we had a lot of 0-0 overtime, so it was EG really struggling to put numbers up, whereas Team Liquid, they're a scoring team.
Yep. Most of the time, those games actually ended up being whoever was able to get a goal in regulation would just go on to win that individual game. So EG, they already have their work cut out for them. Got to get on the board early. They've got to do it against a very fluid and consistently mechanical team that is Team Liquid.
Down a chance for a Chronic. Nice bounce out. First touch to a flip reset. Going for the backboard. Ivan there waiting. 50-50. Picked up by Oski. Weak shot towards net. Blocked by Tox. Tox, the player Verge was saying, is that back line defender. That consistent rock for EG to build on. But look at the mechanics. Oski almost landing a double flip reset.
But still denied by EG, so they're at least able to get around some of those mechanics. So Chronic was going for a cheeky shot on the left side. That had so much pace behind it. EG have held their own for the most part, only letting in one goal. They've already had to deal with 8 shots from Team Liquid, and that's another one, gonna make it 9 shots in total. Having to deal with this offense has got to be very frustrating, and we'll see if EG can transition out. I'm not sure if they'll be able to find somebody downfield because all 3 players are forced to rotate back immediately.
And you're seeing solo play opportunities. Atau going off the ceiling, even considering that flip reset. Tox up to Catalysm. Catalysm will poke it high, trying to make things awkward for a Chronic, but a Chronic finds Oski. Atau taking over the play, double tap off the sidewall, now going for another touch. Ivan up the wall to Catalysm. No, he stays with it and gets the demo. Maybe this will be something for EG. Catalysm looking for the ground double tap. Oski not the best.
Double commit.
There's a double commit from Team Liquid, but Oski will clear it out, and Atau tips it away from Catalysm at the midfield.
And we just needed a quicker challenge from Ivan. You need to be able to punish. That was a double commit, a huge opportunity that is going to go wasted for EG just because Ivan couldn't get up in time and wasn't as aggressive as he needed to be. Approaching the final minute, still scoreless is EG.
EG's still very much in this ball game despite being back on defense the whole time, because there's another double commit from Team Liquid, but a Chronic will find Oski at the midfield, and both times we've seen Team Liquid double commit, they do have that last player back, find the outlet pass, and they get a little deflection at midfield to buy more time for themselves.
Relying so much on that third man to be able to at least get that clear or find a touch. That has been the saving grace. Here comes a Chronic, a big clear down the other side. Oski, that speed coming in handy, winning out a challenge in the midfield. In the final few seconds, dwindling down. EG, they've got to get something within the final 10.
Catalysm, slow plays.
Could be it.
Back pass to Ivan. Ivan does dodge a bump, couches it into a dribble, but Atau will end it. And that is a theme that we saw this game. One player back for Team Liquid, all the pressure on their shoulders, and they handle it nonchalantly.
And that's going to happen a lot with the way Team Liquid like to play. It's very aggressive. Sometimes they'll send one, and most of the time, two players forward, with one player going for that solo play with mechanics. The second one will follow. And that just leaves one defender back, but for Team Liquid, it hasn't made that big of a difference, at least in the score line, because they've been able to clutch things up, find that challenge, or at least get one solid clear as that last player. And EG, this is a very difficult matchup for them because they have to control the game so well, James. But with how defensive they're trying to play and how quickly they have to rotate back, if they just keep booming the ball down the other side, they're never going to get any possession. They're going to be stuck in their own half. So controlling the pace and controlling this ball is the most essential part of their game plan.
And I believe we saw Ivan try to do that near the end of the game. And he got into a 1v1 situation. I believe it was with Atau.
Yeah.
But they couldn't convert on that. And the offensive struggles, I guess you can say, for EG continue. We saw them not score many yesterday, but they still pulled out the win. Weren't able to score this last game, but to their credit, they kept Liquid to only one.
Here we go, Catalysm, nice flip reset. Definitely something more creative, and another follow-up 50-50 from Ivan, but Oski is trailing close behind. Two players are back for EG. More defensive from them. Very much expected a good demo from a Chronic. Maybe demos are something that could be implemented too. The physical gameplay was something that we got glimpses of yesterday. Tox looking for Catalysm on the far side, but he doesn't find him.
Oh, and you see Oski bumping Ivan, back pass. Atau will control it, half a tank of boost. Is it enough to get back to the ball? Did get a little tip. And now a bump from Oski on Catalysm. A Chronic, the shot. Ivan was in reverse, but Tox had that back post covered.
Two players in net. Very defensive stuff from EG. They're going to have to withstand a lot of this pressure. Good 50-50s, but there's a lot of space for Team Liquid, and you can't be giving them this space. A Chronic looking for that flip reset. That's how a nice touch in the corner, and they just want to keep this ball in your half, try and waste some boost. Eventually, the shot will come through, and if it was any more accurate, that would have been the first goal.
I mean, it was played, the 50 was played nicely, did yield a scoring chance. Team Liquid, the firm aggressor. There's not much room for EG to work with at all. Pure defense.
Yep.
Oh, but it looks like maybe a misflip from Oski gave some space back to EG. Tox picking up the corner. Trying to beat one. Gets a demo on Oski. Atau keeping the play going, but Ivan will be able to look for Catalysm, but Catalysm had zero boost. Easy save there for a Chronic.
I still do really like that, though, from Catalysm. Even if you have no boost, they've got to have somebody downfield to receive it. This is a good passing play, Tox.
Oh,
and he was looking for the third player. I believe Ivan could have been there extending the rotation, but he opted to go back instead.
And you think from Tox it was a good idea, but it's that conservative play style from EG. They seem way more comfortable not taking the risk, having that third man rotate back rather than move upfield to get that scoring chance. So it was the right idea from Tox, or at least a good idea. But everyone has to be on the same page for that play to work, and EG just wasn't.
It might just be a mindset thing, too. I mean, if you come into this series expecting Team Liquid to be the faster team, expecting them to come out with better mechanics, it makes sense why you're going to shy away from certain risky plays like that, James. And think just understanding how the play will develop and, of course, having the communication come through from your teammates, that is just such a pivotal thing for this team. Meanwhile, Team Liquid, the barrage of shots, finally going to set up an opening for a Chronic.
Yeah, and it all started with Atau getting that beat over Tox. Oski just a little bit quicker as well. Catalysm got that first save, but when you have both your teammates in the rotation earlier than that, you have to get more than a save. You have to get at least a hit to the corner close enough to where there's no follow-up shot possible.
Yep. Now another one-goal game, James Bott. EG still scoreless in this series. They haven't broken the curse. Been able to force this ball past. This could be it off the crossbar and out. Oski, very calm dribble. It doesn't even look like Team Liquid are panicking under the few shots that EG have had.
But that was perhaps EG's best look of the series, as they're still looking for their first goal of the series. And now 50 out, Atau with a tip. It's a double, making things awkward for Oski. Actually pushed it out of his way. A Chronic first touch control into him. He lands upside down, rotates back over, and that was enough to flick it in.
And there was so much space on the field too, because Oski is getting a bump on Ivan, and a Chronic, I don't even know what to call that shot. I don't even know how to watch it. It was such a weird looking play, but thankfully you got Oski paving the way and deleting a couple of players off the field.
I mean, Turtle, I believe. Maybe you could just call it a turtle flick. Landed upside down.
I'll take credit
on the shell.
Yep.
And it worked.
And that's all that matters. Whatever's effective. 2-0 EG. Haven't been able to get one. Haven't been able to buy one. A Chronic up early. No boost, but not going to matter. Very flat. I'd say this is somewhat expected. There's the first goal for Ivan, though. 28 seconds left. EG able to break the curse.
And EG, they do finally get on the board, but is it too late? 28 seconds left on the clock. EG, it has been a struggle. Oski back towards net. Ivan, he bumped off the ball. Atau, straight downfield. Catalysm has some space, and Ivan is waiting for the redirect, but Ivan can't get the tip. Still, scoring opportunity. Ivan off the ceiling.
Oh, no way. Nobody's there.
You can tell Liquid low on boost. Last chance for EG, and Atau with the challenge. Catalysm 4 boost. Catches it into a dribble, and a big backflip flick straight up in the air will give the ball to Tox. Tox the reset towards net, and that's blocked. And Team Liquid will hold on. Back-to-back wins. Now up in the series, 2-0.
Oh, but there's no denying that Evil Geniuses were starting to heat up towards the end of this game. I think before we got into the final minute, they had about 2 shots, but they were able to get a grand total of 5, putting 3 more shots in that final minute. And we do, in fact, get a timeout called for Evil Geniuses, which it's difficult because the ending of this game was actually pretty fantastic stuff from Evil Geniuses. I'm not sure if this timeout will deflate a little bit of that momentum because they were able to get their first goal, had the best looks, the best chances, but still, you're going to want to try and get rid of any momentum from Team Liquid, James. We'll see if this actually comes into effect and can benefit EG.
I mean, you wonder how much momentum did they truly have? EG forced to make 9 saves.
Yeah.
They were on the back foot most of that game. Team Liquid just kept on doing what they were doing, had great speed. I do think this was, without a doubt, the best offense that we've seen from EG in quite some time. You saw the pass over to Ivan. Ivan, a redirect opportunity, maybe didn't have enough boost. It was tough to tell. We weren't on his cam when he was trying to take that shot. But we did see some really good looks. But EG still need that extra bit of polish. If you remember back, the Tox passing play was looking for Ivan. Ivan was rotating out. So they just need to get that extra killer instinct, or at least just be on the same page.
Well, and there's 100% inconsistencies on the other side. I mean, Team Liquid are not playing a perfect game by any means. Yes, they've looked good for the most part, especially as that third man has been alone. He's still been able to get some pretty clutch touches and clears. But there's been double commits, James Bott. There has been openings, some space on the field. And for Evil Geniuses, the question isn't, okay, how can we create some opportunities? I think the question more is, okay, how do we punish what's been given to us and what's been created from Team Liquid's lack of communication? There's been double commits, like I said, moments where EG can extend and transition forward. I think they just need to have better awareness of when a mistake comes out and when they can choose to push up, because right now it's almost like they're opting to never push up and just wait for this golden goal opportunity that isn't going to happen. They need to have more awareness, James, moving into this game.
Now awareness and speed. Team Liquid has been just a little bit quicker to most of these balls. See what Verge said to him and how EG responds. Game 3. Oski for the back corner. Catalysm. A nice stop. Goes for a bump. Now rebound out to Ivan, but Atau somehow beats him to the ball as the race is on. Backward pass attempt shut down by Tox.
But I still really like that from Ivan, and the fact that he's getting aggressive. While he didn't find a touch, he's forcing Team Liquid to smack it to the corner. And it looked risky at first, but the third man from Evil Geniuses got back perfectly in rotation and was still able to get the clear regardless of the risky challenge from Ivan. Hopefully that is going to give some confidence to EG, and Tox is going to get a demo on Oski. Pressure is still on from Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Tox was going for a flick pass, and the second flick pass that he wasn't able to get a hold of. Just kind of rolled off his car back to Team Liquid.
Nobody's challenging, James.
Oh, and that's dangerous. Still dangerous. A Chronic will tip it up high. Atau hard off the sidewall looking for Oski, and he finds him. Atau the follow-up. Ivan blocking the middle of the field and gets a pinch clear out to the mid. Oski will turn. Gives up possession, but a tip from Oski will find its way over to a Chronic, who punches it down to Atau, but the 50 from Tox looks good. Oski there to bounce it back out. Shot opportunity potentially. Ivan will hit it off to the side. We saw no contact there by Team Liquid, but it looked like Ivan was still thrown off. Double commit. Tox trying to get that downfield, but Oski slowing down the counterattack. Backboard is clear, slows the goal line, but Tox swoops in. The demo wasn't enough to beat out Tox, who was able to streak back just in the nick of time.
Yeah, the hero for EG. Catalysm had gotten bumped, taken out the play, and he was the last defender. Tox swooping in right when he needed to. And that's where the defensive play style is going to come out and honestly be very, very beneficial for this team, because you get demoed and you're not the only man back. You've got Tox rotating in. If that was Team Liquid and that third man got demoed, it would have been a goal for sure. Ivan, another save for him. Carrying it to the sidewall. EG stuck in their own half, but they've at least been able to hold Team Liquid scoreless, which we haven't been able to say in previous games.
Oski getting bumped off the ball from Ivan. Oski trying to get back to shoot on that open net. Extra touch from Oski. A tip from Catalysm. And EG are playing with fire.
Yeah. Not a lot of room for mistakes, though, James. These touches have to be precise from EG. You're right in front of your own goal. Got to make sure you're finding the corner, or at least a teammate. And Ivan didn't find that touch, but he's still bailed out by Tox.
Catalysm flip reset towards net. Atau clearing it up to the midfield. Another 50 from Atau. He blazes it past Ivan. Oski trying to cut around one. Atau threatening the bump. First touch control from a Chronic, taking it straight up in the air and around Ivan. Flip reset. Double commit from Team Liquid.
3v1.
The counterattack is on. 1v1. Catalysm flicks it. He's got to shoot it into an open net. And he hits it off the post. But fortunately for him, Ivan is there to secure it.
Oh my goodness. This could have been a disaster. It was wide open off the post, but you got the best bounce possible off of that post, and Ivan is there to secure it home. 1-0 EG, a defensive battle. They stand tall, and they get the transition they've been looking for.
We saw hello, immediate response from a Chronic, and Team Liquid tie it up.
Yeah, Team Liquid are frustrated about that last goal for sure. Oski over one. Tox He can't bail out his teammates again for the third time. He was on the backboard, and that was too difficult of a read. We're about to, sing the praises of Evil Geniuses, but Team Liquid quick to respond.
Atow, good speed. Another 50. Tox hammers it to the corner. He's hoping Oski would miss it, but Oski will roll it down the sideline and gets the demo on Catalysm. Tox staying upfield. The dunk over Atow. Oski trying to throw off the oncoming attackers right behind him. Ball finds its way down to Catalysm. First touch control, second touch shot, and scores it. Catalysm fighting back to get the lead for EG.
And there's the risky rotation. Ivan, he doesn't go back immediately, gets the bump off the backboard. He flops down and then uses his flip last second. Brilliant play, brilliant execution. Evil Geniuses, they've shown up in game 3.
Ivan almost getting the security goal, and Catalysm will do it. Catalysm, who was the man for EG yesterday, proven to be the man here in game 3.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of moments where, you've got Tox, Catalysm, Ivan bailing each other out and having their backs whenever they can't get the proper touch, whether it's on defense or whether it's taking the shot on target. And you're absolutely right. Catalysm has been the catalyst, of course, for Evil Geniuses. I still am really impressed with Ivan, though, who's been the main aggressor. He got the bump for the second goal, and he seems to be the only one more willing to extend that rotation, James, and try and make an impact on the offense.
Catalysm.
Oh, it's open.
And it's not over yet, Turtle.
No, it's not.
EG giving away a soft one. And now there's 14 seconds left for Team Liquid to work with.
Ooh, a difficult one for Catalysm, but an even better read from Atow. He knew where Catalysm was going to try and place this and had the perfect positioning to punish. 14 seconds left. This kickoff, you've even got time to lose the kickoff and still have a chance.
Oski. Up high, Tox. Big boom.
Massive.
Got a lot of power on that clear. Atow up the gut. And easily tapped down to the ground from Ivan. And that felt like a must-win game for EG, and they get the job done after their timeout.
Yep, that timeout. Verge putting in a lot of work and certainly calming the nerves. Tox had 8 saves this game. There were so many moments, and I'm glad that I get to see the amount of saves this man had, where Tox was the last man back, and he bails out his teammates' poor touch or inability to even get the clear, James, and Tox is there on the goal line to save him. And then Catalysm filling in the midfield with a lot of shots on offense too, while Ivan is being aggressive. That seems to be the formation that Evil Geniuses went with and tried to execute here in game 3, and it worked.
It certainly did, and EG can breathe a sigh of relief. And just to remind you of the stakes, Turtle, EG, they have to win the whole thing to have a shot at the major. And Team Liquid, they just have to win this series, and they're guaranteed a tiebreaker match, which is right after the grand finals. So if Team Liquid win here and lose in the grand finals, they're going to have to play back-to-back.
Yep. But the consequences for both teams are the same. If you lose this series, you are out of the major, and there is no spot guaranteed or given to you if you take the L here, which makes it that much more important, especially for EG to at least get that previous game win. Otherwise, they would have been looking at a reverse sweep and a best-of-7. Now the ball is in the court of Team Liquid to respond. They didn't call a timeout. Just got the normal 60-second break. And we'll see if that's enough to respond and bounce back.
And just a little bit extra of a note, they only have to win the whole regional if G1 beat Carmine. So perhaps the road will be a little bit easier for EG. We'll see.
Even that is a stretch. I mean, Carmine seemed to be one of the most consistent teams, at least in Europe. But still, you want to control your own destiny, and that starts with this series win.
And Atow, that was looking a little bit harder than it had to be. And now a double back from a Chronic. There's that individual excellence yet again for Team Liquid.
Yep, and that individual excellence can come out at any given moment. If there's space in the field, space on the backboard, you better know Team Liquid are going to take advantage and remind you that you can't give them an inch.
Husky. Flip reset. Tox read it well. First touch attempt from Attal. Wasn't able to control it. Ivan back towards net. Redirect from Tox. Catalysm denied on the rebound. That was a very good shot, but unfortunately for EG, didn't find the mark, and neither did the rebound.
We got to talk about Oski's defending. He stood firm on that goal line, didn't get baited out early. Even whenever that shot, that redirect from Tox almost went in, he stayed his ground and was able to get the follow-up save. Huge from Team Liquid. We know that they've been opening up and creating opportunities on offense, but now they show up on defense.
Oski. Stopped at the midfield by Catalysm, who takes two defenders out of the play, looking for the infield pass, but after those two moves, ran out of boost. Ball up to Attal. Attal right towards the backboard. Double tap! And it messes up a Chronic shot opportunity. Attal was going for it all.
He wanted it all. A little bit of greed coming out as we approach the second half of this game. Two demos, Attal taking everybody out, leaving only Catalysm in the backfield, but he still gets the save. It's not enough. Oski able to follow it up. Everything started with that double demo.
Yeah, that double demo really throwing things off. And Catalysm was trying so hard to get that to the corner, but the ball was already on the inside of the post, making it a nightmare situation. And Team Liquid now out to a 2-goal lead just as we hit the halfway point. This is a big hill for EG to climb.
I feel for Catalysm. Imagine you're rotating back, James. You're the last man. You're like, wait, where did my teammates go? They're gone. It's just me alone. And you have to make the stop, and now you have to make another one. Attal is putting in work, demoing you, and now getting the redirect.
Flip reset threat from a Chronic right to Attal. The looks that Team Liquid are showing are diverse.
Yep. Starting to get so much confidence on the field. You mentioned it, diverse. Very versatile offense. We've seen demo plays, we've seen saves on the defense that have been crucial. This one is not going to go in favor of Liquid, however, and it's back to a 2-goal game.
You see Oski being threatened on the backboard, actually forced him to get a less than ideal touch because Tox was blocking off the path. And that was enough to get EG that goal. There's Tox now moving upfield.
I think that was a necessary goal, James. Otherwise, this game quickly getting out of their hands, out of their grasp. And with that one goal, they've got one chance. Plenty of time still. But you have to move with urgency regardless, and the speed needs to be there against Liquid.
See if they amp it up. EG, they're trailing by 2. Catalysm in field, but a Chronic beating Ivan to the ball. Oski, the light tip, a block by a Chronic. Now out to Attal. Attal around the wall.
Ooh.
And that ball right out in front of net, but nobody from Liquid there.
That's a definite change in pace from Liquid to be more defensive and not have a player rotating in. Oski's looking for a bump. He's been doing quite frequently. Team Liquid, it looks like they are trying to play more defensive, which I think is the smarter play. You're up 2 goals, you have the security. EG have definitely shown better signs on offense and better mechanics. So your only option is to try and match that with a good defensive performance, and they have found that, and they're going to need to within the last 50 seconds off the backboard. Maybe the follow-up save by Oski. Huge interception.
Catalysm looked like he got over the ball, was going to put that shot on target. But again, the speed from Team Liquid, it's outpacing EG just by the narrowest of margins. Catalysm, there's a nice 50, but Attal will clear it out of the box. Follow up from Tox, double commit from Team Liquid, and a team bump. Ivan waiting, looking for Catalysm. Catalysm will catch it into a dribble. There's a flick, but it's boomed out by Oski.
Team Liquid are showing what their defense is capable of. There was one double commit, but quick to get back in rotation is Team Liquid. 5 seconds remaining. This ball stuck in the orange half. It looks like as this ball hits the ground, we are going to get sent into match point for Team Liquid. And Evil Geniuses, they already called their timeout. We've only got another 60 seconds for them to adapt and try to recover after this tough loss.
And Team Liquid, this was the bounce back you expected. The timeout buff working out for EG, but like you said, Turtle, nothing to rely on now except the short break between games. Team Liquid, this would be so big for their split, for their year. This team with so much potential finally starting to live up to it.
And even as we look at these replays, you were talking about it as that game was coming down to the last few seconds, James. The speed difference between the teams, it was so obvious, I'd say, in that game, how much faster Team Liquid are when it comes to those challenges off the backboard. I mean, we were looking at the replays. There was almost every single shot that we saw go into the net, or at least have an opportunity to go into the net. It was Team Liquid alone in space above all the defenders of EG who could not match it, and they're forced to stay on the ground because they can't even find that same pace. They've got to rely on free jumps and goal line saves.
We're gonna have to figure something out.
Oh,
Oski with an immediate goal, 8 seconds in, air dribbling it into the net.
I think this is why 75% of chat was on the side of Team Liquid. You expect this type of offense. The demo, the goal line blowing up in flames, James, and the first goal.
Did you see? Yeah, the demo, and then Attal also jumping up, being a lead blocker. That EG was a little bit scared to go all in, and then you see Team Liquid doing that.
Team Liquid are like, you know what? We got to send 3 players forward. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll find a way to get back. It's okay.
EG already find themselves in a hole. Ivan, he bumped off the back wall of Chronic. Thinking about the double tap, but Ivan will catch it. The 50 straight up in the air. Atau off the ceiling, going for the 50. A Chronic taken over in the corner. The 50 himself. Now boomed out. Ivan being challenged in Catalysm. Will break out and get some space for EG. Nice hit down, but Oski will win that challenge. However, Tox with a demo wasn't able to follow it up with the 50. Oski, flip, reset, shut down by Catalysm.
It looks like demos might be one of the best routes for EG to get back in this game. They're getting outpaced. The boost is getting stolen. I think finding a demo on that rotation back is going to be very important. Attel was looking for a demo, and he found it against Ivan. Caught it fire with fire, and Oski has all the space to work with now. Nobody from EG is even up early. Togs finally jumping in time, getting the save, but that was a dangerous look.
It really was. Double flip reset threat from Oski. It forced 2 defenders from EG to go. Now another Liquid attack. Oski, double tap off the corner. Ivan will let that go down to Tox. Catalysm can't get the touch at the midfield. But we do see EG starting to break out just a bit.
Yep.
Tox in his own corner. Nice clear out, and that gets by a Chronic.
Quality clears from EG. Tox. Quality follow-up too, winning the challenge, or at least matching it against Team Liquid. But another booming hit down the other side. Oski relieves a lot of pressure. Team Liquid are back looking for space. You can tell what they want whenever they get any bit of control. They're trying to take this ball as fast and as quickly into the air as possible. They know they have the advantage when this ball goes up. And that's where they want to keep the ball high up above the ground like this from Oski, and he's outpacing Ivan. That's exactly how Team Liquid want to play.
Nice demo, though, opens up space. Atau back to the ground. And we're seeing Team Liquid have the edge in the demo game.
Yeah, and the aerial game. I think for EG, the demo's working in the beginning, but now you're getting destroyed, taken out. Try and keep this ball to yourself. Go for the lower approach. Tox keeping it grounded there. I like the idea. Execution, not as clinical, but as long as the idea is there, you can build upon it. Maybe you can build upon this air dribble almost around Oski, who had him red.
Chronic with a massive challenge win. Tox off the ceiling. Could be a shot opportunity for Liquid. It's a bounce shot, and that's saved by Ivan. EG split. It's coming close to ending. They must find a way to put one in. Otherwise, Team Liquid will have a fantastic shot at making it to Rotterdam.
Securing at least a tiebreaker if they can hold on for the next minute and a half. Tiebreaker secured if they take the dub. Oski wanting to ensure that with a demo, but a Chronic tried to bait out the last defender and go for a mind game. Triple commit from EG. The panic is there.
Yeah, they have a reason to be panicked. This is it for EG. And that goal, will it be enough to put Team Liquid out of reach?
And this just represents what Team Liquid do so well. The solo play in the corner with that pass from Oski, and then Atao outclassing, outpacing the defender. 2-0 security for Team Liquid. They look to get this tiebreaker. EG, they need to make a move, make a march downfield. Time is running out.
Catalysm. Flip reset. Does get the 50. And it's by Oski, but a Chronic is able to get that ball off the goal line. Tox doing his best to fight through this defense that Team Liquid is throwing up, but nothing seems to be working. Oski has a Chronic in the middle. Awkward ball all around for EG. Another 50. Ivan will have to turn in reverse. Half flip clear from him. It seems like EG's wheels are spinning in the mud. They can't get that offense going.
They can't get the offense going. There's barely any boost. The clears aren't finding teammates, and they are getting denied every single time they try to break out of their defense. No time left. A 2-goal lead is going to secure it. Even if EG get a goal, they won't. The ball hits the ground. Team Liquid take the win and secure a tiebreaker for Rotterdam.